My love of beauty began when I was pretty young. I was maybe 10 or 11 years old, and I was on set with my mom while she was getting her pictures taken, and the makeup artist asked me if she could do my makeup. And I remember sitting in the makeup chair and watching myself in the mirror and just seeing my face transformed. It was probably the first time I ever looked at myself and thought I was really beautiful, and I was just mesmerized. I couldn't believe that something so little could change the way I felt about myself. And so over this next hour, as I started talking to this makeup artist, she started to tell me about how important skincare was, and using moisturizers and using SPFs, and how, you know, a really good canvas makes for really beautiful skin. And it really set the foundation of my love of beauty. And right then I just knew I was going to be in the beauty industry. I didn't know what I was going to do at the time, but I wanted to make my own clients feel the way that I felt when I stepped off that chair. It's been, 20 years since that day, and I still remember it like it was yesterday. So I got started as a facialist by accident. I had just come home from boarding school and my mom really wanted me to get a job, but because we lived in Southern California, she felt like I really should look healthy and have a tan. So we went to the local tanning salon, and as I was in there getting a tan, the next thing you know, I come out and my mom has gotten me a job at the actual tanning salon. And so I loved it. I was there for a little bit and I was getting to know people, and there was this one woman and I thought she was so cool. She was in her mid-40s and she just seemed to have her whole life together, and I was thinking, man, when I'm her age, I want to be just like her. And so basically one day she comes in and she's like, Lauren, it's my birthday. And I'm like, oh my goodness, happy birthday. How old are you? She's like, Lauren, I'm turning the big 30. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh my God, how can you be 30? You look so freaking old. And so over the next year or two as I worked there, I kept seeing the same thing. All of these people that I liked so much looked 5, 10, 15, some even 20 years older than they were. And I'm thinking, why is this? Is this because of this tanning? And so as I started to study UVA and UVB damage, I really started to understand why the cells were premature aging and why these people were looking older. And I thought there's got to be a better way. So I talked to my mom, and she was a model, and she said that on set she saw a lot of the actors and models would do dine-air airbrush tans. And so I thought, oh my goodness, I could start my own business. This would be so cool. And they were local, so we went there, and my first kit was $800, and I had 400, and my mom loaned me the other 400, and I was able to start my first little mobile tanning business. And while we were there, we happened to meet the owner, George, and he said, where you want to take your business, what you want to do, you should really become an expert on skin and really understand how tanning affects skin. Not just, UV but lights, but also how self-tanning works. And I said, George, I just want to spray people. My 19-year-old self just really didn't get this. And so over the next 2 years, I kept seeing him. He kept saying, have you gone to school yet? And I'm saying, no. And then finally I thought, okay, there's gotta be a reason why this man wants me to go. So I said, okay, I'm gonna take 6 months off and I'm really gonna learn what this all is about. And so I enrolled in school and I just fell in love. From 2 weeks in, when I started to understand skin physiology, it made all that sense of what was happening with the tanning. I just couldn't put it into perspective. And I just knew that that was my calling. And so I sold my company to a girlfriend of mine who was really into spray tanning as well. And I just thought, okay, I want to spend the rest of my life being the best facialist possible. As I started to work with doctors, I really started to get a really good understanding of skin aging, pigmentation, acne, the whole gamut of why skin issues occur and what solutions are really available to be able to make skin incredibly beautiful. And that was really my foundation for everything that I've ever learned since then. And over the years working with doctors, I kind of just got bored. Like, my young self just wanted to do something bigger and more glamorous. And so I went back to my mom and had a little powwow, and I said, I just want to travel the world. I want to work with funner clients. I don't want to be in a doctor's office all day. And my mom said, you know what, you should work with models. You would have the best time. And so my mom opened up a bunch of doors for me, and word just spread quickly because I really understood how to give amazing results without downtime. And my career just slowly took off from there. My personal beauty philosophy is actually that aging is optional. 20% of how we age is based on genetics, and the other 80% is based on lifestyle choices. And I think that's really exciting because you get used to seeing yourself a certain way, and so it's natural that over a number of years you want to keep yourself looking the same way and do whatever you can to maintain that younger version of yourself. But at the same time, you have to understand that the choices that you make cause you to age at a cellular rate. drinking, smoking, partying, having a great life, working really hard but playing just as hard, all that stress builds up and it causes a lot of damage on a cellular level. And so I think as long as you're informed of what you're doing, you just have a great life, but just make sure that you're using the right products and the right ingredients and the right combinations to correct all that damage that's being done. That's what I always tell my clients, like, have the time of your life, have fun, just keep me informed, because I need to know what you're doing, because everything that you do causes the skin to react in a certain way. And if I don't know what's going on, I can't fix it. And so I think that's really exciting. I think just have the time of your life, enjoy it, and just make sure that you're making up for all your bad habits. For me, the most exciting thing about creating products is to be able to dream and to be able to use my creativity and really be able to find better solutions. Every day there are better ingredients, better technology, and so it's really exciting to be able to give your clients the best of the best. I mean, my personal philosophy is that products should be reformulated on an ongoing basis. Just like we don't even use last year's iPhone. So why do we use ingredients that are even made from last year? Why do we even use products that are made? It's almost like they become so obsolete. And so to be able to make custom products is really exciting, because it makes me be able to leverage the best of science, the best of technology, and be able to create cutting edge science that really affects aging at a cellular level. And so, I work with, the coolest clients in the world, whether they're hip hop artists, big moguls, royalties, celebrities, all of them are aging at such a fast rate, faster than the rest of the public, because of the tremendous amounts of stress that they're under. And so to be able to go into the lab and make a product and know that when I say it does X, Y, and Z, it does X, Y, and Z is just the coolest thing ever. And so I love it. I love making my clients happy. And to me, that's why I do what I do. I just want to make the whole world beautiful. What I hope most to accomplish with the line is just to be able to offer more people access to better products. And at the same time, I really want to be able to give back and make a difference. I heard a really great quote a couple weeks ago from Warren Buffett, and he said that if you have an opportunity to be able to make wealth, then you have a responsibility to be able to give back. And so I really love companies like Tom's Shoes, where from the day that they started, they really wanted to make a difference. And so we've started a give back campaign where we take 10% of our profits and put them into a fund. And we're really looking at local charities across the United States who are struggling to really make a difference in their sectors. And I just really want to be able to make a difference. I feel really fortunate that I've had so many wonderful people come along and help me get to where I am. And so I just hope that at the same time that I can give back to others. And so it'll be really exciting that if somebody buys a product, not only are you making yourself beautiful and making a difference for yourself, but you're also making a difference in the world. And for that, I'm incredibly grateful.